You're posting, you're networking, you're running ads, and you're getting nothing back. That's not a small problem. That's the exact feeling that makes photographers quit right before their marketing was about to work. Here's the lie almost every photographer believes, that marketing's job is to book the client. It isn't. Marketing generates the lead. Selling books the client. These are two completely different skills, and confusing them is what makes marketing feel broken when it isn't. So if your marketing is not getting you the quantity or quality of clients that you want, today I'm going to show you why your marketing probably isn't broken. The season in my own business when I was doing everything right and still broke, and the strategy I almost quit right before it worked, and exactly what to check before you scrap one of your own. By the way, if you're new to my channel, my name is Sarah Petty, and I've helped thousands of photographers inside the Photography Business Institute create profitable family-first businesses. Most photographers confuse what marketing's job actually is. That mix-up between generating leads and booking clients is exactly why posting, networking, running ads, and getting nothing back feels so universal. Marketing's whole job is to make someone curious enough to raise their hand. Selling is the separate skill that turns a raised hand into a booked client. Most photographers aren't planning their marketing in the first place, my friend. See if this sounds familiar. Most photographers wait until the bookings dry up, then throw together a cheap mini session promotion or a slightly desperate looking Facebook ad or post. And once photographers realize that discounts get them clicks faster, they take that shortcut, which sends them down the wrong road even faster. Even when you understand what marketing's job is, you have to keep going at it for long enough, because the next mistake is most people quit before their system kicks in. Chasing shortcuts is such a huge way photographers are sabotaging their own marketing. Giving up too soon is another, and I know exactly what that feels like, because I lived it. I had my own season of doing everything right and seeing nothing. I was working constantly, and there was still no money left in my checking account after the bills. What kept me going at first was just that feeling of getting clients and referrals. Then what kept me going was realizing I had to change my entire model. I decided that it either was going to work or it wasn't, but either way, that was okay, because I could do something else for my career. I wasn't going to keep going down that wrong road. What wasn't okay was sacrificing my family for a business that wasn't working. I almost quit a strategy right before it worked too. I was donating to local auctions, but I was treating it like a charity, not like a marketing activity. And when I sat down and did the math of how many I had donated to, and I realized that, gosh, if I even got one client from every donation and my average order, that was going to keep me in business. And I wasn't getting anything from it. And I just realized, no, this is not working, Sarah. So I spent a year fixing every part of that strategy, testing the offer, testing the display, testing all the things until it ran like a well-oiled machine and delivered me a right fit client. So good. I'd been a marketing director at an ad agency before this, so I already knew that the tactic without a solid strategy doesn't work. But if you have a solid strategy first, you can figure out the tactics. And it's not always instant. The ones that take longer and more trial and error are often the best performers over time. By the way, marketing is just one piece of the puzzle. I used to guess my way through fixing my business, tweaking my prices, changing marketing, trying anything, and I was exhausted. Here's what I learned. There's almost always one thing that actually holds a business back, and it's nearly impossible to see from the inside of your business. It's kind of like reading the label on the bottle while you're still on the inside. My team of coaches have worked with thousands of portrait photographers on the inside and know exactly where to look to get them on the outside. Here's what I want to do for you. You're here, you're listening, you're investing so much time in your business that I want to give you a free profit path assessment call with my trained team so that they can give you one clear next step to get your bottleneck unclogged. I'm going to stick the link in the description below for you. Patience with the right strategy is one thing, but knowing what to actually do while you wait is another. Most photographers chase more activity when what they actually need is one right conversation. I don't think photographers are creating too many marketing activities. The problem isn't volume either, because if someone has 0 inquiries after 60 to 90 days, even 30 days, the first thing I'd check is what they're saying the moment they find a prospect who has a need. That conversation matters more than the platform it happens on. Pricing also plays into this more than people think. Marketing is only one piece of the recipe. It has to be a conscious choice that's consistent with your whole business model, because a price-driven photographer markets completely differently than a boutique photographer. Their messaging is different. Their sales process is, yes, different, but mostly non-existent. And since price-driven photographers usually just upload an online gallery and hand over the digital files, there's not a lot of room to increase your average order. Listen, whichever model you choose, trust is still the engine underneath it. Here's the good news. Becoming a stranger's trusted photographer can actually happen fast if you're having the right conversations in the right rooms. I joined a Pilates studio about 1.5 years ago just to try it. The people on the 10 reformers around me, they're plastic surgeons, they're lawyers, they're OBs, they're women who are stay-at-home moms whose husbands make great money. Literally my target audience, women with money to spend. Plus they have the disposable income to spend $3,000 plus on Pilates for the year. Higher pricing doesn't just need more trust because of the number. It needs more trust because people are trusting you with important decisions, the ones of helping them create legacy artwork to decorate their home with. They don't want to spend that kind of money and get it wrong. So consistency is what builds that trust, which means showing up the same way over and over in person and online. My favorite trust deposits in that bank don't feel like posting into the void. Things like donating to local auctions can bring in tens of thousands of dollars. It looks generous, and it is, but done right, it's also real marketing. Partnering with local businesses for charity, serving on local boards like an art fair committee, getting involved with your chamber, volunteering for a passion project in your town. All of it builds the same thing: trust. And all that trust building happens during a stretch that feels like nothing is happening. The boring middle. I think the middle is actually the best part. If you think about it, like the middle of an Oreo cookie. That's why your systems on the top and the bottom do the heavy lifting, while you trust the process in this squishy but delicious middle. A simple workflow. Referrals built to just keep coming in and orders steadily climbing. Take Alyssa Bean. She'd been in business almost 25 years. She closed her first studio because it wasn't profitable. And then she quietly slid into hiding between online galleries and offering digital files because it just felt safer. She didn't have to talk to strangers or sell anything. She could just upload a gallery and let people pick their favorites. But her average topped out around $600 to $700 per client. And in 25 years, her highest sale ever was $2,300. When she found our system, here's what's so cute. She spent weeks with 1 foot in and 1 foot out, telling her husband she knew exactly what we'd ask her to do and still wasn't sure she wanted to do it. She finally committed. Her first order with our system that broke $1,000, which was offering wall art, books, albums, that type of thing, came in at $3,300. More than her old record for 6 framed images instead of 40 retouch files. In less than 6 months, get this, she sold $142,000. Her own daughter said, "Mom, I'm so proud of you." Quitting a strategy is the right call sometimes. It's the right call when it stops procrastination, when it stops you from doing the same thing and expecting different results, when it gets you away from people who pour negativity into you, when it gets you out of the house and into your community, when it stops you from saying you can't, from blaming, shaming, playing the victim, or getting stuck in analysis paralysis. Quit the tactic, never quit the mission. Listen, your marketing probably isn't broken. It might not just be finished yet. You've got to give the right strategy enough time in the right rooms with the right system behind it, and the trust you're building will turn into clients. And my friend, if you want help building that system so you're not waiting and hoping, book a free call with my team. Seriously, the link is in the description. 15, 20 minutes on the phone can get you really unstuck. And I'll see you in the next one.